Hey everybody, welcome to ProBROknow. Three brothers, three opinions, one topic. Hello, brothers.
What's up?
What is up is the question.
Not much.
Not much?
No.
It's happy Sunday.
Happy
again.
Sunday.
It's
I can't wait for this topic.
You can't? You don't know what it is,
You
huh?
always say that though.
I know. That's part of my
You're
thing.
just, you're just a very cup half full kind of guy.
He's upbeat, right?
He is.
He just brings all the mojo and the...
So speaking of that, what is the topic today?
oh, I don't have one.
I thought you did.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I do have one. So I was thinking about, I don't know what we want to call this, but about embarrassing moments and things that have happened, in your lifetime that you just think, oh, God. And, I have quite a few for you, Wade, so...
I'm sure you do.
Seemed like a great topic.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you know later.
Yeah, you probably won't like it.
Let's dive right in.
I think we should dive in. Anyways, I should preface this, as use our favorite word, preface, by saying that this was actually Spencer's topic. And you brought that up, Spencer, so I'm guessing you would like to lead with something. Is that the case?
No, you're wrong on that, like usual. But no, I just threw it out as an idea.
I think that it would be easier to tell stories about each other more so than about yourself, because you don't really want to admit the ones that are about yourself.
That could be dangerous.
What, each other?
Yeah.
Why so
I'm
dangerous?
I'm nervous. I'll tell you that much.
Well, you should
But
be nervous.
I should be nervous, but let's go for it.
Okay. Oh, well, I can give you a nice easy one, Wade.
Sure.
I think it was rather embarrassing when you couldn't figure out how to put your motorbike on a kickstand in your own driveway, dropping it, I think twice possibly,
Not
and then
twice,
cracking a vertebrae, just standing up for I think that was the first day, if I'm not mistaken, that you were going to go.
No,
Was
no,
that
no.
when you just got your bike?
That wasn't my first ride. Oh, let's be clear though. I had a motorcycle accident and and
come on.
and
that-
fractured
is that
in your own driveway
and fractured a
doesn't count.
vertebrae. It was a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
Right. So
Well, it sounds tough. Yeah.
That was a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
You falling over as you're trying to put your motorcycle on a kickstand.
so
in the
now
driveway.
that you brought it up,
it was a
when you-
bad act. He almost didn't make it.
it was
I'll be
very
honest,
embarrassing.
I'm surprised
Absolutely.
it was probably full medics and everybody there, right? Actually, you were crying for the medics, as I recall the story. You were in your, you had literally couldn't get off the ground. Is that right?
No, because I fractured my vertebrae.
I know.
I had a very serious bike accident.
Well, I would say that
in my
that's,
driveway.
that's embarrassing, is it not?
It was embarrassing because I was pulling it out of the driveway because I was setting it off to English Cycle to have some work done on it. One being put a center stand on it, which would have come in handy at the time, and two, to do like a tune-up on it. But I didn't sit on it to back it out. I just kind of wheeled it out. But as I was
Right.
doing that, my driveway at the time had all these divots in it, and it hit a divot, and the bike went
Right.
away from me.
Right.
And I was like, oh, trying to hang on, and it hit the pavement. And I went to lift it up, and there's a right way and a wrong way to lift it up. And I did the wrong way. I just bent down and heaved on it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of heavy. So then I squatted down again and tried again.
So in the end, it got a tune-up and some body work, I'm
Oh,
guessing?
I got a tune-up. Yep.
You got a tune-up.
Yeah. So I lifted it again, and I heard a snap, and I felt a snap. And I went down immediately, and I had fractured my vertebrae. Compression.
Wow.
Fracture. What was embarrassing is I was home alone. So I was in my driveway going,
Oh my God, that reminds me of that song.
So
Yeah, I was just moaning in the driveway by myself, and then I had to crawl into the house and call Sue, my wife, and then basically get her to go to the hospital with me. But I was like, motorbike, and she was like, oh my God, he's had a motorcycle accident, which I had. And
I don't like how you call it a motorcycle
because it
accident.
sounds way better than dropping my bike in the driveway. That's why it was embarrassing.
Yeah, well.
The most embarrassing part, though, is the English Cycle finally shows up to get the bike, and the bike's on its side with the center stand like on its side. And
So I just want to ask, are you still lying in the driveway? When
I
the-
was
when the
sitting
guy
there by
gets
that
in?
point when the guy got there.
Okay.
But he comes up and he's like, he's got to be 20 years old at the most, and he's
110 pounds.
He's a scrawny little guy, and he's like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "Long story, but I can't help you. Like my back is messed up. I can barely breathe because I'm hurting so much." He walks over, lifts the bike up, and wheels it into the little trailer, and I felt really embarrassed at that point in time. It was quite embarrassing. And then the funny part was we get to the hospital, and Sue goes in to get a wheelchair, and the only one left was one of those big person wheelchairs, like for someone who's a little bit oversized. So I'm sitting in this chair and there's like this much room beside me as she's wheeling me into the waiting room. So that was my embarrassing story. So thanks for bringing that up, Chad.
Yeah, no, it was my pleasure.
It was
As a
only-
motorcycle you're the only brother
was
I know
only-
that's ever had a accident on a
Motorcycle
motorcycle.
accident.
That's
Yeah.
not true.
I had one, but it was
Oh, that's true. I forgot
was a
about
real
yours.
accident.
That wasn't.
It was a real accident.
That wasn't really.
I was on the road.
Yeah, that's true.
You were.
You were actually driving.
Yeah.
That's when you hit. That's when you hit the cyclist, right?
Well, the cyclist
Well-
hit me.
Oh, and you call that an accident?
Well, do you think the cyclist meant to run into him?
I think he
It
probably
was an old.
swerved.
Wasn't it an old guy on a bike or something? That
It was
ran
an
into
old
you?
lady.
Old woman.
Oh, at least you. So basically, your idea of the accident is you gunned down a old lady on your bike.
Yeah, I believe you
Well, you know when
sped
you
up.
see those people and they're on the road, and they're like, "What are they doing?" Well, I had enough that day.
She should not be on the road, so you took her out.
Yeah.
But then you
Well, she was on
suffered.
the sidewalk, but
Yeah.
I just thought there's no way she should be riding a bike.
You were
on
probably
the
doing a
sidewalk.
wheelie and
Yeah.
just accidentally hit the sidewalk.
Yeah,
How fast were you going then? Do you remember?
actually not fast compared to how fast I used to drive.
But you were wearing shorts and a tank top or something silly.
I had jeans and a t-shirt.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
But you were road rash.
Oh God, yeah.
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 This is not really.
You know when you see like the shoe on the side of the road, and you're like, "Who just left a shoe?" I think that one of those is mine.
It was one of yours.
Is that right?
My shoe came off. Yeah.
This is not really an embarrassing story, but I was just thinking about you and motorbikes and about when you got caught by the police doing wheelies or something, going down Dundas Street or something, and you got out of the ticket because you said, "Oh, we just."
I said I just bought it and I put a new chain on,
Yeah.
and I just got the bike, and I made it sound like I was really nervous and scared. Because the guy came right on the road. Honestly, the cop right on the road. The bike was in the air. Me and my buddy were at the lights, and there was all the people getting out of movies and whatever. We're just being idiots, trying to show off, and just popped a wheelie. And as like bike came down, the cop is like right in front. I almost hit him. He's like running on the road, trying to like me to be tough guy, and he made me pull over. And then I just was like, "Fuck!" Like I'm so dead. And I just decided to be very scared.
And it worked.
It did, yeah. I was like, "Oh my God, did you just see that? The bike whole thing came right up." That he was like, "Yeah, no, I did see that." And I was like shaking and it made it sound like I was so nervous.
Oh my God. And he bought it.
Wow.
He did, yeah.
Of course, your friends are long gone, right? They just took off.
They took off, yeah.
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 Yeah. Again, not an embarrassing story, but it was just, I was just thinking about you and
Who
motorcycles.
were you riding with? Was it Tyler
Yeah, I think so.
and Sean? Tyler, maybe?
It was for sure Tyler.
Yeah.
I can remember being at a party and getting a pretty good glow on, and I couldn't see very well out of my costume. I had like this crazy mask on, and everybody was partying in this big basement. And I just started walking. There was a whole bunch of people out back. There was a pool in the backyard, and people were just kind of hanging around or outside. And I saw everybody out there, and I just started walking towards the backyard and didn't realize that the patio doors were closed. And I just did a full speed face plant and like fell back on my ass. A room full of people. There had to be like 50 people there, killing themselves laughing. So that was pretty embarrassing.
I've done that too.
Have you
Through
run
the
into the
door?
glass?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, in Bahamas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mom and Dad's little condo there?
You remember they had those sliding doors?
Yep.
And then the patio was right there. And we were making, I think it was Cornish hen. And I had all these.
Cornish hen. Wow,
Yeah, I had all
fancy.
these Cornish hen on a tray.
Pass me the Cornish hen.
Yeah. And I was walking out to like put them on the barbecue. And so I had both my hands like this. I'm carrying the tray. And I think there was something else on the barbecue that was like probably burning. So it was like kind of going fast. And I didn't even realize that the glass door was closed. And I was just like full on, seeing the barbecue and trying to go really fast. And the tray hit and went up like this, and the Cornish hens fell everywhere. And I smashed my face right on the glass.
So you just kind of dusted off the Cornish hens
Yeah.
and served them?
They were blackened.
That's the one that you guys got, by the way.
He's like, oh, they're good.
Yeah. A couple sprinkles. That's
Yeah.
good. 10-second rule.
Nice.
Well, similar to the door thing, when I was younger playing baseball, and we lived in London at the time, I think, or we played in London anyway. But I played somewhere over on Gainsborough, and Mom and Dad would come to pick me up, and they parked at the road, and I had to run down the hill to where the car was. But there was one of those one piece of wire fences, those little fences, like the big thick piece of wood, and then a little wire fence.
Yep.
Didn't even see it. And I'm running full tilt to the car.
Did you get
Clipped
like
me right
clotheslined right in there?
right at the knees.
Ooh.
And I just went like totally face planted, then bounced back up again. Not good at all. Very embarrassing.
It was probably pretty embarrassing when I don't know if you remember the story of me riding my 10-speed and getting a loaf of bread caught in the spokes. Do you remember that?
No.
You don't remember that story?
Was it your 10 speed or someone did
No,
use?
it was my 10-speed.
yours, okay.
Yes, I would never do that, Wade.
And you had a
Yeah.
loaf of bread going your.
Yeah. So mom sent me to mom sent me to the store to go buy a loaf of bread, and I had my 10-speed.
And cigarettes, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
And so I was, I had, a 10-speed that, you had the rounded or, handlebars, and my hands were on the lower part, and I was carrying the bread down there as well, and it was kind of swinging, as I was riding, and I was going down. Well, I call it Water Street Hill, but after being back to Ingersoll to see it, I don't.
It wasn't much of a
wasn't
hill?
much of a hill.
Yeah.
But I was going down there, and just I don't know, just the wind or the way I was riding, it swung into the spokes, and it was like French toast everywhere, just like, the sound that you hear when you put all the you put the cards in your.
Did you
in the
flip,
spokes. I flipped
over?
big time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a huge wipeout.
But all the bread got shredded?
Yeah, the bread got shredded.
You
and
made croutons that day.
I did make croutons, spoked out croutons. That was pretty embarrassing.
It had to be embarrassing when you had that big skateboard wipeout. Was it the same hill, water?
No. That's
Hallcroft.
That's Hallcroft.
Hallcroft,
Yeah,
that's
that was not embarrassing. That was just painful. Is what that was.
I need a Band-Aid.
I know. I think we might have told that story before, but
Probably did.
I'm not sure.
And were you embarrassed at the Ingersoll Teen Town dance when you got so inebriated that they had to drag you out?
What? I don't.
You don't recall that, I'm guessing.
What?
It was embarrassing for me as your brother to have to watch you go
Was
through
it?
that.
No,
Yeah.
listen, that's not embarrassing when you're 16 and you're drunk out of your gourd because you're drunk out of your gourd and you don't realize that you're embarrassed.
I'm pretty sure you were drunk on cherry something.
Yeah, it was not cherry, it was Canadian sherry.
Sherry.
Yes. So my buddy had decided. I know, isn't that delicious?
Yeah.
It's so gross. I can't even smell it, honestly, to this day. It's so bad. Yeah, my buddy had decided he was going to he was drinking a 12-pack of whatever beer he had, and I got a 26er Canadian sherry, and he said, "I bet you I can."
Why
drink.
did you get Canadian? Was it cheap? Is that why you bought it?
Honestly, I don't know. I was 16 and I had somebody going in to get me something at the liquor store. I don't really know why I bought
Yeah,
that.
and they thought, I'll get him sherry.
Well, maybe, but anyways, he said that he thought he could drink more beers, his whole 12-pack before I drank my 26er of sherry. And I showed
bet.
him.
That's a bet you just can't,
Yes.
give up, eh?
But what I discovered shortly after is that you lose all motor skills if you do that, and then you end up at a dance where you get hauled out. Yeah, not embarrassing though.
I just remember I think they were pulling you by your feet out of the bathroom and all the way. No?
No, they were pulling me by my arms, but because I literally had no motor skills.
Oh, your feet were dragging.
My feet were just dragging behind. Yeah, that was good times.
Did they just leave you outside?
I couldn't tell you. They probably called mom and dad or somebody. Police took.
I think
home.
I just kept on
don't know.
dancing. I was like, oh well, there's Chad.
Yeah, that's something that should be embarrassing.
That I didn't come to your
You're
rescue.
dancing.
My dancing.
Yeah.
Have you seen yourself dance?
I have seen myself dance.
Yeah, well, we all have.
Yeah, I'm a good dancer. Why are you laughing?
Because I was the best dancer of all of us.
Yeah, I know.
on.
Guaranteed.
I
Oh,
know.
come on.
Yeah.
Guaranteed I was.
Yeah.
For sure.
Listen, with enough rum and cokes, you are a good dancer, I'm sure. At least at that point, I don't recognize you're not dancing very well.
Is it you having the rum and coke or me?
Well, a little bit of both.
Well, if we have it, then you seem better.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
do you have any embarrassing moments?
No.
Yeah,
No.
his life has just been footloose and fancy free. No embarrassment at all.
I don't think have I had any embarrassing moments? You guys are supposed to tell me my embarrassing moments.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You have no embarrassing stories.
I don't know. I'm asking you guys.
Wow. I mean, you've been an embarrassment, but I don't know if they're embarrassing stories. Wasn't there a story with you like puking at some club, like just sick as a dog? I don't remember the whole story now. but-
Yeah. I was selling software, and we had a client in, and we were, for whatever reason, he wanted to do pictures of beer. And so that's what we were drinking. And it was right after work. Didn't have any dinner. We were just doing beer after beer, and I'm not a big beer guy. And it obviously hit me. I drank far too many pictures, I guess. And
One.
yeah. half a pitcher.
It's a really big picture.
Yeah. And I remember just like, kind of spinning and like, oh my God, I need to go to
You
the
got to
bathroom.
toss. Yeah.
And I looked and I saw the washroom was at the far other end of the club. And so I got up and was just trying to walk like normal. And then I realized about halfway walking that like it's coming faster than I thought. But I didn't want to be that guy like running in a club, like running to the washroom. So I just kind of like started walking a little bit faster.
You're trying to look cool as you're puking in your mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that's what was happening actually. So as I was walking,
God,
I could just
that's
feel
horrible.
like,
Oh, Jesus.
and I'm like, oh no, please, I cannot puke in this, in the middle of this bar. And so I'm picking up my pace and I'm just like,
Oh, God.
it is like just filling my mouth.
Wow.
And I'm just like, oh my God, don't do it. Don't do it. And then I finally get to the washroom door thinking like, oh, I made it. And I open the door up and now there's a long hallway going this way. And then there's like a doorway at the end of the hallway, which is, I guess, the men's washroom.
That goes down the stairs.
I know. It was just like
Across the street.
so because I was so prepared
Bathroom under
that,
construction.
that when I went to that one door that was the washroom, I then had to run because I was just like, I can't make it. And so I'm running down a hallway towards the door and I got my hand like this covering my mouth and there was so much pressure. It was just like the puke was like just going like it was like spurting out and I'm holding and there's all this pressure building up and it's just like and I literally I kicked the door into the washroom and at that point I couldn't hold it back anymore. It was like floodgates. So I kicked the door, I took my hand off and the puke just like
Wow.
and it's just so bad. There was like a line of urinals right in front of me. And it was full of, guys just hanging, going to the bathroom.
Not for long after you got in there.
And when I kicked the door open, the puke just came out of my mouth and it was like projectile, just like, and it just hit the floor on an angle like a 45.
Just the right angle to splatter.
And it went,
Nice.
and then it went, and all up on the back of everyone standing there at the urinal.
No.
They all got the splatter on the back of their pants.
Oh,
It was so disgusting, actually.
that's pretty gross.
Yeah. But I was so hammered, I didn't even care. And everyone there was like, oh! And then I just like kicked in like a urinal, like a stall door, and then just, proceeded to continue puking all over that.
And then you went out and drank some more?
Yeah. Then I was like, I'm actually pretty good now. And yeah.
I was just reminiscing about, and I don't know if you know this story, but when an old friend of ours, Jack, lived in Chatham, and we were coming back to London. He had just bought a brand new Trans Am, and Adam, do you know this story?
No.
Oh, he had bought a brand new Trans Am, and he also had a Torino that he needed to bring back to London because he had moved to London. And he said, "Well, can you come down with me to Chatham? We'll bring both cars back." And I said, "I'll do it if I can drive the Trans Am." And he's like, "Sure." So we're driving down the road, and I don't know if we had cell phones at that time. I'm not sure, but at any rate, I just remember him like pulling up beside me, and he's like, "Pull over." I'm like, what's going on? And so I finally pulled over. He pulls over on the side of the road. I pull over and I go, what's going on? Why are we pulling over? He goes, "You're not gonna believe this. I just shit my pants."
I do remember this.
Do you remember the story?
He
and
sure
I said,
did.
when he goes, "Here, I got some Kleenex in the Camaro. I need to get it out of there." And I started laughing and I started accelerating off the curb and I just started putting it. He didn't have anything he'd do. I just like took off down the highway, knowing I'm leaving him with these soiled pants on the side of the road. And then
So
he
bad.
kept catching up to me, and then I would slow down like I was getting ready to stop. And then I would just speed up again, and he was giving me like the finger in the window and stuff like that. And I thought, man, this poor guy just made him drive halfway to London, just sitting on these shit stains in his pants.
Didn't he say, "I just sharted"? Isn't that what he said to you?
I don't know if he said sharded or whatever, but that's ultimately what happened. So not embarrassing for me, but that was rather funny. It's funny when your friend shits their pants.
When it's not you.
Right. Absolutely.
I think it's a rite of passage. I think every guy shits their pants.
Well, speak for yourself.
No, I don't think I have.
Yeah.
You've never shit your pants?
No.
Wow, you haven't lived, buddy.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought this topic would turn into who sharted?
Yeah.
You've never sharted? Yeah, you have for sure.
I don't know if I don't know if I have.
You've never shit your pants. Yeah, you have. You for sure have shit your pants.
I don't know that.
On the boat? I'm on the boat, I'm sure.
No, but
No,
I'm on the boat.
I've had to use the bathroom in some uncomfortable
Oh, we know.
situations.
We
But
know.
no, I don't believe I.
You've never showered.
Shard.
Not that I-
Is that like an
not
Irish
that I
shirt?
can think
Yeah,
of.
I've showered.
A shard?
Little Charlotte, what are you from Nova Scotia?
Yeah.
Is she sharded?
Oh, you got a
God loves you, dear.
little Scottish
Baby
over there.
rain.
Little Mrs. Doubtfire shouting.
Oh, dearie. Listen, as much as I'd love to listen to you talking about stories about puking and shitting your pants, there's got to be something better to pick from, Spence.
Great segue, Chad. How about
Well, I got nothing now.
That's right. He's out now.
Yeah.
how about we can talk about you when you tried to like dock the boat?
Of the two of us, I clearly am better at docking the boat. You were so bad at docking the boat that we didn't even have a name for the boat. We were going to have to call it Paradox because we needed 2 docks for you to be able to get in there with the boat to get it into a slip. That's what I recall.
Yeah. All I recall is you used to come in way too fast.
Okay, well, yeah, but that comes with experience. You just
In the
start,
sailboat?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're coming in a little bit hot, right? And it takes a while to slow it down because it's a big boat and that. But I can tell you, of the two of us, only one of us damn near slammed into the pier in Port Stanley, or I think it was
Yeah,
Port
that was
Stanley.
me, but I didn't.
Was that on your way coming out? You were coming out, right?
Coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
You're
were
just not paying attention.
Yeah, so
And everybody's fishing off the
yeah,
pier.
yeah. Spence is driving the boat, and I'm standing at the front, and he's just like daydreaming, and all of a sudden I look over, and we were literally.
I think
when
I was checking the sail or something. I was trying to undo something.
I don't know, but I know that like without a word of a lie, we were inches away
from smashing.
from a full on.
You're looking at the whites of the eyes of all the
collision.
fishermen.
No, there was probably 10, 15 people fishing on the pier, and he's like just heading right for them. Right for them. And I'm like, Spence, and he just cranked the wheel as hard as he could, and we just like literally inches missed that.
Were they not
pier.
yelling at you?
They did.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey!" Because we were like going through their lines, and then like,
Oh, that's
I
right.
I think I was like this, and it was kind of like looking down, and I was like this, and I must have turned the wheel as I was looking for something, and then the boat was just like full on coming towards the pier.
That was actually really scary.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Oh, that was kind of funny actually.
I bet it
That
was.
I was able to.
Oh,
That you corrected it.
Yeah. I saved that. I saved your life that day. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Speaking of boats, and I don't know if it was you with me or whether it was all 3 of us, we rented a boat in Bob Cajun.
that was
it 3 of us?
Okay, I'm just gonna say that this was
Yeah.
embarrassing.
It was 3 of us,
It
right?
was, yes.
Yeah, we rented that little, whatever, 15 horse.
Yeah, and it was a
Little fishing boat.
14-foot
Little
tinner
rowboat,
with a
yeah.
9.9 on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we rented it in Bob Cajun, then had to drive it back across Pigeon Lake. And the whole time we're like, this engine is not, like, it just sounds
We're barely going.
like we're barely moving. It just sounds rough.
Yeah.
Like
I thought for sure that we got a bum motor in there.
yeah, the engine was
wrong.
horrible on it.
Yeah.
And we're riding low. It was just not good at all. And
I think
then,
you were even checking the motor to see why.
yeah, I think we stopped a
I
few
was.
times and checked
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah.
And then at some point, we started going much faster and much better. And we all, yeah, or what? No?
No.
Okay.
We were still like not
Yeah,
sure.
we were just not going. And I said, well, we're gonna have to take it back like this. Tell them there's something wrong with the motor. And I think I was on the helm if I'm not mistaken, and I was full throttle, but we were barely moving. And then all of a sudden you hear this.
Right. That's what I mean.
Yeah, this popping noise, and we started speeding up.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And that's when we realized we were towing the anchor. Yeah.
all the way across Pigeon Lake.
Yes.
Almost to the very end again, towing the anchor.
Yes. So
That was a little embarrassing.
And who was driving?
little
the boat?
tip for all of you sailors out there: bring in the anchor.
Yeah. So yeah, you can say I almost hit a pier, but I've never driven a boat with an anchor down and wonder why it's not going fast.
No, that's possible. I had just
He
got
cleared all
my
the weeds.
voter's card too. I was very proud of that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The one you got online.
It cost you $20. You paid someone to do it.
Yeah,
and
we
now
all
you're-
got
I
that
think.
deal.
Oh, that's right.
We all got that deal.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wasn't there somebody taking the test for
Yeah, it
us?
was
or
a
something?
friend of mine who, we just all paid him money and got a.
Yeah, you guys did. I actually.
I'll never forget.
I did the work, as I
No,
recall.
you didn't.
No, you did not.
We were driving on the boat, and you were always like, "What does it mean when is the right? Is the red one go on the right, or is the green one on the left?" You would always ask those
that's not
questions.
true.
How
Always.
bad is that? Yeah.
So I was like, "Hey, there's a marker up here. What is it? Do I stay on this side or that side?" I'm like, "Well, remember your boat course."
Well, if I had taken the test,
If you had actually
I
done the
would've known
course
the answer.
online.
Exactly.
You can't do
Anyways.
that anymore. You have to go in for the course now. You can't do it online anymore.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, probably because
Because
you
people
ruined
were
because of
scamming.
everybody. I ruined it. Okay. Doubt it.
Yeah.
And they got a video of you pulling an anchor. This is what happens when you don't take the test.
Somehow I doubt that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well, I can think of a kind of a last funny story to kind of end this thing. But as you know, I do auxiliary policing.
yes.
But I was out. You guys might know the story, but I was out with another auxiliary drive. We were driving through the Lowe's parking lot, South London, early evening. The windows down, and this woman, as I'm driving by, says, "Good evening, officers." And I don't know what I was going to try to say back. It was either a combination of "Good evening" or "Hello."
I already know what you said. I haven't even heard the story, and I know what you said. You said, "Want to see my watch?"
Yeah. And what came out? What came out was yeah. Like totally.
Really?
Yeah, it was like I went, "Good evening, officer," and then I just kind of looked at my partner John, and we both freaking lost it. Like we're crying in the cruiser because of what I said. Like I don't even know how it came out of my mouth.
That's weird.
But then the whole time, you can imagine the jokes after that. Like she was like, "Isn't that so lovely?
They got this special
they're so
needs
inclusive
officer."
at the London Police
Special
Service."
needs
right?
officer, yeah.
Yeah, like it was a little embarrassing, but made me laugh.
Did you get promoted after that, or
No, I did not. No.
they took away the watch?
No, that's when he got the watch.
Is that right?
I passed my driving test.
Exactly.
How to speak to the public.
Well, I know there's lots more embarrassing stories, but unfortunately, we really can't share them, and we shouldn't share them. Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Probably not ever.
Take him to the grave.
Yeah, I think so. So,
Yeah.
as much as I'd love to share them all, Spence, I don't want to embarrass you.
Yeah. Okay, Chad.
Anyway, it was.
Gotta go one word.
yeah. What's that word?
Don't say it. Started with the J.
On that note,
Yeah.
Rhymes
On that
with
note, I think we're
rhymes
not
with
gonna-
Royce.
Oh wow.
special guest next week.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right.
Anyways, nice reminiscing with you about some embarrassing moments.
See you next time.
On ProBROknow.